All right, good morning, PyCon. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us. And we are here representing an NGO called Data Science Academy, and we're going to spend the next 30-ish minutes talking about how we sort of try to redefine data science education as we know it.
You raise your hand if you believe that your code that you write is beautiful.
Yeah. In fact, we can do a little demo. Raise your hand if you believe that you can write good code. We have a few confident people in the room. That's good. All right. But anyways, let's start the show, shall we?
Hello, my name is Laura. I am a junior software developer and a data analyst in a medical startup which is based in Slovakia, Bratislava. And our third co-founder is Imre Berta, who works for the Ministry of Health of Slovakia, and he works with a lot of oncology data and epidemiology.
And my name is Jakub. I am a biomedical data scientist, or trying to be. I study at University of Oxford, something called precision cancer medicine. It's cool because you get a lot of data with it. And I consult some clients and do some technology development. And we are all passionate about inspiring and educating. So this is going to be a little story about how we came to be as Data Science Academy. So firstly, let me take you back to summer of 2022, where we are currently watching an after movie from a conference called Science to Business Camp, hosted by our friends at Innovato. They are a sort of cluster of startups and companies. You should check them out. But the three of us, we met over there last year, and we started talking. We don't have any pictures. I wanted to bring you some evidence, so I asked our friend ChatGPT to give us some sort of made-up evidence. But we started talking at lunch about what we all do and how we came to that conference, and it became evident that we all share some common interests, and what brought it all together was a workshop by Imre, that is his representation over there, generated by ChatGPT, which was called Beer and Accessible AI, and it was a very lovely workshop where we drank beer and were coding some AI and ML algorithms, and that really sort of solidified that we share some common interests, such as we are all in non-mathematical fields. I studied biochemistry, and I'm a classically trained biochemist, so I should have no business dealing with data. I should be moving, tiny amounts of pinkish liquid with a pipette, and we don't have a computer science background. But what we found was that we can sort of help automate our daily tasks in the lab with data analysis with Python. It's great. I'm sure you all know, and we try to sort of make our work easier. And we are all from international backgrounds. I'm based in Oxford, Imre used to study in Cambridge, Laura is based in Vienna, and so we see a lot of different sort of teaching and education systems, and we have observed how sort of dealing with data is included in the international curricula, but it's somewhat missing in Slovakia, sadly. But given our shared interests in Python, in data analysis, as well as sort of teaching, inspiring others, we were always keen on sort of speaking and then sharing our knowledge, and just like advising friends on a friendly basis. We determined that Slovakia needs a really good zero-to-hero data science bootcamp where we teach the people basics of Python programming and make them sort of ready to enter the data analysis field.
And so the first Winter Data School was born. Here in this picture, you can see the three of us one day prior to this bootcamp, the very first one, and we are all excited and happy that it's finally gonna happen. But prior to this, we had 5 long months of a lot of work that we needed to do before, prior to this bootcamp. as Jakub already mentioned, all of us, we learned how to program via YouTube, right? And online courses, we knew exactly what we liked about them and also what we didn't like about them. So our job was to create a nice mix of lectures and practicals. We needed to find and identify the very basic skills that somebody who hasn't programmed before really needs to start working with their data using Python and not Excel, for example. Then we wanted to convey a lot of information, really a massive amount of information, but in an encouraging manner. And finally, we needed to know exactly who we actually want to teach. Is it going to be an interdisciplinary group of people, or is it going to be a specific field, for example, biomedical science? And so the decisions for Winter Data School were following. So we wanted to create a lot of practicals, not the lectures, but practicals. So throughout the 5 days, there were really workshops every day from the morning till the evening. And there was one theory heavy day, which was statistics, because as we all know, we can't really work with data without understanding statistics. Then we chose to go with interdisciplinary group of people because we know that it's really the interdisciplinarity which brings in the innovation and yeah. And our practicals were developed in Jupyter Notebook because we decided and we knew that they were really intuitive and easier to follow for somebody who hasn't done any coding prior to the bootcamp. And on this slide, you can see the structure of Winter Data School and what it looked like. So on the first day, we were focused on the very basics of Python. We did everything we could do with like importing the data into Jupyter Notebooks, cleaning them, sorting them out. So really like the very fundamental basics on how to work with the data when you first get them into Jupyter Notebook. So a lot of NumPy and Pandas dominated this day. Then on the second day, we did a lot of visualizations, right? We took the data from the first day and we visualized them. We used Matplotlib, Seaborn, but also Plotly because we like interacting with our plots as well. Then the third day was statistics, as I already mentioned. On the fourth day, we focused on machine learning, supervised as well as unsupervised. And we taught people using case studies because it's easier to remember something when you have a narrative that you can follow. And then on the fifth day, we had 3 specializations, 3 streams, because we had interdisciplinary group of people. We wanted to please everybody. And on the 5th day, they could choose from healthcare analytics and epidemiology, or biomedical data analysis and bioinformatics, or econometrics and social analytics. And this format was what people actually really liked, as we were finding out throughout the bootcamp. People were really pleased. They were learning a huge amount of skills, and they were meeting people from sectors they never actually met before. So, for example, public and private sectors met together. Students could communicate with these 2 sectors and learn about what they may want to do in the future, and so on.
And I would like to direct your attention towards this little piece of feedback. And I have to tell you that as an educator, it is so rewarding to see people praising your teaching materials. And we were so delighted when this came through. But coming to the more important question of what we actually do and how we actually teach Python. So here is a snippet of the Jupyter Notebook. We develop these and we write a new set of them before every boot camp. Currently we actually have just concluded our third data school, actually last week, and this is a snippet of it. So we are combining theory and practice, and as Laura said, it always has a story so that people can sort of readily apply the pipeline that we teach them to their work. And how the bootcamp actually operates, and you'll have a chance to see that tomorrow at 10 a.m. We are doing a little workshop about like the fundamentals of data visualization, and we'll go all the way to some simple machine learning, so stay tuned for that. But there's always one person at the lecture stand who explains the code, and we use this as a sort of slide where we talk about a bit of background to what we are going to write, and then we actually write this word by word. This is a sort of simple plotly function where we are plotting some bad wine, because you need to analyze which wine is good and bad. And we go through sort of every single thing, every single argument, and sort of try to reinforce the rationale between sort of choosing the library, choosing the function, how the arguments work, in a sort of one-pass approach. This is a bit more theory heavy. This is from my practical on day 4, where I teach unsupervised machine learning. So there's a focus on what every argument does, and then we sort of write the TSNE, that's a sort of dimensionality reduction algorithm for those who don't know. We write that and we apply it to data. And what we found was that instead of learning every single thing individually, why not just do it sort of all in one go and focus on pipelines that you can readily implement. So coming back to my practical on day 4, and then tomorrow is going to look pretty much the same. We start sort of bringing together concepts from the earlier days. So we take a data set. This is based on stratifying groups of patients for sort of vaginal infections based on their microbiomes. So we take the data set, we prepare it, we go through some sort of data cleaning, the basic steps. Then we try to cluster the patients based on sort of similar counts of bacteria in this case. Then we talk about high dimensional data and how sort of every patient is their own dimension, and how we need to sort of plot it in a 2-dimensional space. So we go through visualization of high dimensional data. We talk about dimensionality reduction. I picked PCA and TSNE as the algorithms I'm demonstrating. Then we talk about sort of dbScan, a clustering algorithm that identifies outliers, and then we sort of bring it all together with visualization of the data, which we teach them on day 2. So they should be able to recognize the functions, plot some heat maps, and most importantly, we focus on the actual analysis of data. And sort of this experience with our first bootcamp, Winter Data School of 2023, helped us define Data Science Academy as a sort of project organization or an NGO. So there's that teaching approach, right? We try to teach people Python, but also we are trying to build a community here because by bringing people from diverse backgrounds, we encourage dialogue, right? So we had people from the governmental public sector interacting with people from the research sector, and then trying to build collaborations. In fact, there have been quite a few success stories of people actually from research backgrounds finding a job in the public sector and working as analysts, and we try to ask the question of how to best teach people data science. That is a very complicated question. You will not be getting an answer or a definitive answer here today, unfortunately. But to answer the question, we first needed to identify the 3 major drawbacks of online self-study. So the 3 of us, the co-founders of Data Science Academy, we all are self-taught. We do not have a sort of formal Python programming data science education. And there's 3 challenges that we faced. Firstly, you're looking through the video, right, or the course on Coursera, and they're great, but you want to ask a question. Well, what do you do? Well, you don't, so you have to Google it. Now you have the option of ChatGPT-ing it, which is great. But there's sort of lack of the personal aspect, right? There's no sort of real-time personal support in most cases. Secondly, they use examples which are usually random data or sort of mathematical things, which, I mean, maths is great and it's fun, but it's not sort of directly translatable into our work. Well, not in my field anyway. And thirdly, and most importantly, in order to actually finish the thing, you need a lot of discipline. And I really mean a lot. And you need exceptional time management. You need a lot of commitment to keep coming back to the course. And some of us don't have that. Like I didn't finish a few courses. But as Data Science Academy, we try to answer this firstly. So firstly, the personal support, we provide that. So when we teach something, there's one of us lecturing, two people are floating around the room, or one person at least, and they are sort of answering people's questions directly on a one-to-one basis. Secondly, we always look at the sign-up sheets, try to come up for every sort of workshop, every event, with examples that are going to fit in the focus of the participants. That is a bit challenging with an interdisciplinary community, but we try. And thirdly, to help with the sort of commitment, we always run the events in person. And these boot camps are sort of week-long intense events to help with that. And people have been thankful for us, to close them in a room and code for a week. And as a sort of bonus thing, we are getting a lot of community engagement. We always provide online support as well. So it used to be Slack, now it's Discord, and we get some memes, we get some job opportunities going, and it's a very sort of networking booster as well.
So as we already said a couple of times, feedback is really important for us. We evaluate it, and then we try to create and tailor new events based on this feedback for the people who graduated from these bootcamps. The first event we held was a panel discussion on a question on how to effectively use data generated by industry and healthcare in scientific research. Our three panelists were well respected. It's Lukáš Palaj from the Ministry of Health of Slovakia, then Martin Smatana from M-Square, and Alan Böhm. He's a cardiologist from Premedic's clinic. So we had a great discussion with them and with the people who attended. The second challenge was, a community challenge solving, where people brought their data problems and all of us tried to brainstorm and solve them together, which was really fun. Then we had two machine learning focused workshops, namely Breakfast with Machine Learning and Introduction to Regression Modeling, where newcomers were welcome as well. Introduction to Python and Data Visualizations was also focused more on the people who never programmed before and did not attend our workshops yet. So we wanted to introduce them to a short workshop to get a feel for how we do it. And recently, Jakub and me went to teach statistics at a conference of young hematologists. So there were young hematology oncologists who needed to learn statistics, and so we created this workshop for them. It was great. So yeah, community is very important for us. The reason why is in such a community where people from all sorts of backgrounds come together, it's really good for these people to network and to build new collaborations. What's also great about it is everybody who wants to learn a new thing, everybody who works on themselves constantly has these successful personality traits, which then encourages everybody around them to also do their best. So it's kind of like this constant hype that people are getting from being part of such a community, such as PyCon as well, I believe. And so in August 2023, there was a summer data school. The biggest difference between Winter Data School and the Summer Data School was in a fifth day, where, again, based on the feedback from participants of Winter Data School, we decided to rebuild the fifth day so that it became a small data hackathon. The reason why is the Winter Data School was packed with workshops, but they were guided, right? So people didn't get a chance to kind of do their own thing on their own without our intervention, our constant intervention. So this data hackathon was designed to have 3 challenges where people formed teams and they picked one challenge and they worked on it from beginning to an end. So they created their own pipelines, and all of the teams actually did a great job and they solved these problems very beautifully, given that they haven't programmed before, right? Just a couple of pictures from the data school in the summer. And yeah, as Jakub already mentioned, Winter Data School 2024 only finished last week. And what we focused on here was to incorporate this community aspect even more into the bootcamp itself. So we invited people from summer data school and prior summer schools and winter schools to come and help and provide some mentoring and assistance to, especially on the 5th day, where people really need to discuss if they do the correct thing. Just again, a couple of pictures. Oh yeah, and Jakub, here you go.
And we had a good run over the last year or so. So I suppose the question with every sort of venture is where are we going to take it next? As we mentioned probably a lot of times, the community feedback is really important to us, and so we are going to run a few more networking events to support the community, and I suppose this is a good time to mention a few of the good outcomes we had. So in the first Winter Data School, we were at the medical faculty, and there was an immunologist who was sort of a bit annoyed with us to start with, but then she sort of started interacting with us, and she approached me. She saw my name tag, and it turned out that she was actually in the same room in the hospital when my mom gave birth to me. She was giving birth to her son as well. Small world, but. Anyways, that was the first success story, because she had a data set of Parkinson's disease, some proteomics going on with protein expression, and she approached me asking if we teach people programming, and we started talking about what we do. And she wrote up a little sort of advert, which I posted to the online channel. And a few weeks later, one of our participants actually started working with the research group. So this sort of networking aspect is great, and we enjoy that thoroughly, because you can meet a lot of interesting people here in the sort of world of data analysis. But a bit more events are on the menu as well. If you are not based in Bratislava, we kind of apologize, because all of our events were based in here. But we are slowly branching out. We are going to Žilina in April, and also if you will be around the UK as well, we'll start with some events there. In fact, in just about a week after I take my final exams, we will run a sort of small workshop in Oxford, as well as the data school bootcamp, as well as summer data school. There's a lot of consideration right now among us where to actually host it. We might host it somewhere else. So in Košice, for example, to provide a bit more local impact as well. But so to summarize what we do, or what we've done over the last year, and then come to a few meaningful conclusions. We are ultimately a group of people with a common interest, and we like to sort of share what we do. We try to help out. We try to help the community. The second point sounds a touch too ambitious, that we redefine data science education. But what we are trying to do is give practical, translatable approach to data science education. as we said many times, and you'll hear that tomorrow if you won't be too annoyed with us, we are trying to sort of write and give code and skills that are directly translatable. In fact, over the winter data school last week, we had one participant who was, after being done with the day with the lectures, he was applying that to his data, and he was asking us a lot of questions about it, and that's exactly what we like to see, and that's exactly what we want to do. So we often stay after hours and then try to advise and try to consult people on their challenges, because that's what the community is about.
I would just like to add that this wasn't just some random participant, but it was a medical student who we know that they are kind of afraid of the data, but this one guy, he was really like into it, right?
Yes, as we said in the first slide, and I'm guilty of it as well. Like during my undergrad in biochemistry, I wasn't getting much intro to data analysis, and then I don't know if we have any biology people in the room, but we are shockingly terrible at approaching data. All we know is Excel, right? In fact, this is a bit of a sad moment, because when I present any sort of outputs to my supervisor on the first day I was in the lab, I showed her this beautiful Jupyter Notebook with like everything, and then beautiful data, beautiful heat maps, and she was like, what is that? I don't care about code. I want an Excel spreadsheet with genes ranked by expression. So putting people from diverse backgrounds into the room helps sort of open up that dialogue between biologists and economists and doctors, medical students, and we all sort of try to instill that passion for data, and we all know that interdisciplinarity is going to solve basically all the world's issues. So we really try to sort of put diverse people in the room and try to sort of initiate this dialogue. And we've only just started. This is just a year of us. We are proud to say that we did a lot. At least we would like to think so. But with people like you here in the room, we hope to inspire the sort of next generation of educators. We hope to inspire the next generation of data scientists, data analysts, who share the love for Python, who share the love for data, and who would like to contribute to humanity in a positive manner. So with that, I would like to thank you all for being here. It's been great to have a full room of people who are interested in data science education. You can scan that and add us on LinkedIn, or just talk to us. We'll be here, and we like to talk, as you've been hearing for the past 30 minutes. And yeah, that's it. So thank you very much, and let's do some data together.
So thanks, Jakub and Laura, for your talk and also for your work. What you do, I think it's really admirable, and I can be familiar with myself, because our nonprofit also teaches children with teaching with hardware. So maybe once they grew up, they can become biomedicals and scientists, and you will have a slightly easier work. We have several questions. Some of them were coming through your talk, so they may be partially answered. So maybe you want to add something, but let's start from the top. Is it possible to volunteer or even become part of the organizers?
Yes, absolutely. Come talk to us. We are friendly. We don't bite. We like new people. So find us after, and then let's have a chat.
Yeah, I think Python community is great in this, because it's really active, and I hope that you will find some volunteers or even organizers. So thanks for that. So where can we find your future activities, workshop, bootcamps? We saw something on the slide you showed us that there will be something in Žilina and summer bootcamp, but maybe more info how people can reach to sign up for either of these events? Or
Yeah, so in general, we post them on our LinkedIn website, LinkedIn page. We also have a website which currently we try to rebuild to serve better its purpose. But yeah, it's usually LinkedIn, and we also have a newsletter where we try to let people know what we will do next.
So how do these PhD students you teach conduct their research if they already don't know statistical analysis and don't have IT skills to support it? Do they use Excel? Isn't it something that should be taught at the university instead? So you partly mentioned that, but maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, and I'm wondering that myself. So in university, I don't know about other courses, but in biochemistry, you get some introduction to statistics and sort of data analysis. But yes, it is mostly in Excel, or for statistics, we were taught some sort of basic statistical software. I think we had a choice between SPSS and PAST. I picked PAST because that seemed a bit easier. But yes, we definitely agree that it should be included in the curriculum, and we would like to see that. And it's not necessarily that they don't have the skills to support their research. So in Slovakia, we have a great, very passionate, very motivated scientific community. And they can accomplish results, definitely. Well, there's a lot of good papers coming out from for example, the Institute of Virology at the Slovak Academy of Sciences, where they, for example, investigate precision treatments for fibrosarcoma. But it's a question of, can we make it better? And I think that yes, we can, with a bit of Python and a lot of critical thinking. We can sort of try to contribute to elevating the quality of research, and then saving a bit of time to the researchers as well.
Okay, statistics is a vital part of data science hypothesis testing, yet it is hard to comprehend. How do you approach teaching math or statistics?
So yeah, statistics, the way we try to teach it is to use everyday examples. For example, washing the dishes, right? Everybody knows how to do it. Yeah, please, Jakub, find the slide. Everybody knows how to do it. So when we try to explain these concepts, we always use easy to understand examples so that people can immediately relate to the problem, and they can start to think about it in a mathematical way. It's very difficult to actually come up with something that everybody will understand, so it's really challenging. And Jan Dudek is our very dear friend who teaches these statistics. Yeah. I don't know, did I answer?
Yeah, that's another thing. We get a statistician in the room to actually explain the thing, because we aren't statisticians.
Okay, you partially touch on this, but I will read it anyway since it's at the top. To help students apply the knowledge to their field, do you also let them bring their own data and a problem? You mentioned that on the last summer camp you did, so maybe if you want to say a sentence or two.
Yes, absolutely, and we encourage that. We are there to help over the course of the week. So if someone wants to approach us with a question, problem, they are welcome to do so, and we try to help. Also, we run events like the sort of challenge solving, and there's actually a lot of requests for that following this winter data school. So stay tuned for that as well.
Maybe some practical questions. Are the bootcamps in Slovak or English?
So far, all of the bootcamps were held in Slovak because we want to support the Slovak PhD students and everybody who didn't get a chance for a better education like elsewhere. So it's in Slovak, but we do plan to hold some of the workshops in English. And then, as Jakub mentioned, we will have a data school in Oxford, so that will be obviously in English.
Okay, so what is the price? It is not shown on the website, only the text and for the academy about the scholarship?
Yes, so there is a scholarship. If you're a student, you can get it for free. You just write as a little motivational statement without using ChatGPT. But we actually check it because we were getting some ChatGPT-esque texts. But anyways, we implement a sort of tiered pricing where for private companies it costs about 1,000. For the public sector, it costs 900, and for academic sector, it costs 800 to participate in the full week of full week of the education, and everything is included, catering, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so the next question is the same, so we can skip it. You already answered that. And where can I find more information? The website is showing no events. Link to Facebook, Twitter is not working. You mentioned LinkedIn, but
Yeah, I did mention LinkedIn. As we said, we need to work more on the website part of our strategy because it's horrible so far. That's why we have the LinkedIn. But it's more on the rolling basis. We try to plan more ahead, but with all of us being at different places, it's really hard. So we give shorter notices, especially for the workshops, but for the boot camps, we do announce them some months prior to them happening.
So maybe another question about the education. Do you think should the data science be part of the high school curriculum?
Yes, absolutely. To be fair, I had a very good IT teacher, and I was introduced to some Python code, but it's not always the case. So yes, definitely, and I would advocate for a bit more comprehensive curriculum with actually critical thinking and what the actual code means and what to accomplish with it. But if you are a high school teacher or are in any way connected to a high school, we would love to explore that and try to sort of inspire the younger generation as well. So come talk to us after if this is coming from someone who teaches in a high school.
So can people from biotechnology benefit from the bootcamp as well? Are the topics from biotech included in the bootcamps?
I would say they definitely can benefit because of the interdisciplinarity of other people who are part of the bootcamp. We always have some medical people, either doctors or students. Then we have people from biomedical research. And also we have people from technical companies who just don't work with Python and want to learn it. So regarding the biotech topics, we do explore this option for the next bootcamp. We haven't included the really biotech questions or data yet because it wasn't the people who were participating didn't really have this background, but we always try to tailor it to the background of people we actually will teach. So this depends on this.
And yes, biotech is full of interesting data, time series, a lot of sort of signal processing sensors, all of that. It's great. And we explore that in the bootcamp. So yes, I think that a person with a biotech background or working in actual biotech can readily take the code that we write during the bootcamp and apply it to their needs as well.
Okay, so we are running out of the time, but the last question is, when will be the next summer bootcamp? I guess the question is about the exact date, or should the people follow the LinkedIn?
Well, it's gonna be sometime in the summer, as the name implies. We have yet to determine the actual date, but probably sometime in August, so sort of later August is what we are aiming towards. Scan the QR code, which is not there, but look for Data Science. Yes, there it is. Thank you so much. Look for Data Science Academy on LinkedIn, or come talk to us, and we will definitely announce it a good few months in advance.
Okay, so thanks again for your talk, and I wish you good luck with the academy.
Yeah, thank you so much.